Before you drill another bowling ball, you need to know this number, your positive axis point. Today I'm getting my PAP done, which stands for positive axis point. This number determines how every ball in my bag should be drilled. If you're a serious bowler and you want to improve and figure out, what layouts might work for you, this is where it starts right here. I'm here with Austin Hitt. He runs the pro shop, Hitt's Pro Shop. We're just gonna ask him a few questions, try to figure out, what a PAP actually is, and we'll go from there. So Austin, man, can you let us know what a PAP is?
Absolutely, man. So a positive axis point is a point on a bowling ball. It really helps us pro shop operators determine what the pin to PAP is, and that's what's gonna allow us to control flare, ball roll, depending on different core sizes, and that it all comes into play, man. And your axis point is what that all revolves around. So
okay, so it sounds like it's pretty important to the bowling game.
The most important thing as a guy who drills a lot of bowling balls, it's very important. So,
and why does the PAP matter before you drill the ball?
Absolutely, man. Well, every bowling ball has a core in it, and they're all different, and that's why they make so many bowling balls nowadays. They're all different. They all do different things. So when you have an axis point, and you got a bowler that buys a lot of bowling balls and drills a lot of bowling balls, you can really change that pin to PAP and layout to give them different pieces in their arsenal. So I would say that's probably the most important reason. So
that makes a lot of sense too. So what happens if you don't know your numbers?
Well, I always tell people that if you go to a shop and they don't get your axis point, I believe that you're just wasting money. You're putting holes in bowling balls and you don't know what they're going to do. And if they don't get your axis point, then they don't know what it's going to do either. So,
okay, cool. So I guess we're about to go ahead and go through with the process of getting my PAP numbers, and we'll be right back after we get those. I think he has everything he needs to get my number. So we're going to head back to the pro shop, and we'll talk more about it over there.
Dude, so this right here, this is your axis point, okay? That's your symmetrical axis point. There's your asymmetrical axis point, okay? The most important thing that makes the ball roll a certain way is the distance between that and that pin right there, okay? That is the most important thing. And then after that comes in drill angles, okay? This is your VAL, all right? That's your drill angle right here. Symmetricals, it does not matter because there's no mass bias in symmetrical. The mass bias is in your thumb in symmetricals, okay? I won't get into all that. But so anytime you want to make a bowling ball hook and flare as much as possible, 3.5 to about 4 inches. It's like a bowling ball will not hook more than if you make that pin to PAP like 3.5 to 4. My number really, like if we're fine tuning, is 3 7/8 to 4 1/8. Okay. Now, higher rev rate guys, man, like yourself, I'm a higher rev rate guy too. I never drill anything lower than 4.5 for myself, mainly because we don't need help getting the ball to face up and hook. Okay. You got guys that don't know how to hook a ball too much. That's okay. Help them out with equipment, drill their bowling balls, about 4 inches at their axis point. It'll flare more. So they'll see out of 4 inches what me and you would see out of 4.5 to 4 3/4. Okay. So does that make sense?
Yeah. And that's funny because I wouldn't even consider myself to be a high rev rate bowler. So
you're above average.
This is new to me right now.
You're above average. Crazy. So this is a 4 5/8 inch pin to PAP on the asymmetrical. Great layout. Fantastic layout. And then this right here is a little bit longer on the Rockstar. It's a 4 3/4, so it's about 1/8 of an inch longer than this is on the ASIM. So they're not max flare layouts, but you can see like when we were getting your access point, you had a good amount of flare. You know what I mean? So like higher rev rate, you're creating more flare with that. And then this drill angle right here, what this does is controls back in, okay? So if you take, if you want to make a ball pin down, you open that angle up, that pin starts to come down here. You know what I mean? So this is 30 degrees, man. It's a pretty good layout. I would say these are pretty good layouts. This is home run here. So if I'm getting your access point, checking these to see what you're used to working with, they're pretty good. I wouldn't recommend tweaking much. You know, we can play with layouts down the road, but it's pretty good. Now, numbers. What is your access point? So we'll do the symmetrical one first here. Mahjong, what's up, man? So symmetrical PAP is 5 1/8 left, 5/8 up. And then our asymmetrical PAP is going to be shorter. It's always shorter because the ball flares more. And that's really what makes these different is the ball flaring in air before it hits the lane, dude. Because this core is so much bigger and has different mass in different places in this symmetrical core here that it's literally altering the flare of the bowling ball in air. That's what it's doing. So this is 4 3/4 left. And then 1 inch up. So grab a Sharpie here. Our symmetrical PAP is 5 1/8 left, and then 5/8 up. And then our asymmetrical PAP is 4 3/4 left, 1 inch up. So there we go, man.
All right, there we have it, man. I got my PAP numbers. Everything went successful. I think this was very important, especially with the new Storm releases coming out. We got that Storm concept coming out, and I will be getting that ball. So it was a perfect time to come down, figure out my numbers, make sure everything was good before I get that ball drilled because I want the most out of it. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. We out.